So when they drafted Jordan, this conversation would have happened a lot sooner had I not won, back-to-back COVID MVPs. So we come off of last year with obviously missing the playoffs. I didn't have an MVP season. I was interested in where they would be at mentally. Everything that I was told in the week that I was in Green Bay was take as long as you want, and we want you to retire a Packer. You want to come back and play. Obviously, the door is wide open. So that was the information that I was going on. Now, when I came out of the darkness, something changed. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but something changed. And I got back to my phone after 5 days off of it, because your phone's not on the entire time. There's no Wi-Fi on that, hippie mountain. And when I got back to that little shack they have where there's one bar of Wi-Fi, and got back to hundreds of text messages and emails and all different things, I realized that there'd been a little bit of a shift, and that I heard from multiple people that I trust around the league, players mostly, that there was some shopping going on, that they were interested in actually moving me. And at this point, I got to admit, I went in the darkness 90% retiring, 10% playing. That's where my mind was. My mind was, I'm tired of this. I hadn't got back into my workouts yet, and I thought that was what was best for me. So I went in the darkness to contemplate a lot of different things. But one day I spent entirely on the reality I was retired, and one day I spent entirely on the reality that I was coming back and playing. And just really sat with that for hours and hours, what that looked like, what the reality is, how that all felt. And when I came out, I was really interested in what the kind of landscape was, where Green Bay was at. And obviously, if I wanted to play, what were the options? So it was clear to me at that point that although the Packers were going to say the right thing publicly, that they were ready to move on. And again, I don't know what changed that or what moved that. If they just said, hey, we need to make a decision here because he hasn't made a decision yet. Again, there's no victims here. I'm not sitting here as a victim. I love Green Bay. I love the fan base. They're incredible. I lived for playing for them and for Lambeau.
Hell yeah.
A lot of love for the organization. I just think I wish that in the beginning of the offseason, that had been the conversation. Because I love direct communication. If they had just said, listen, we think it's time to move in a different direction. And we love you. And you're going to be a Packer Hall of Famer. You're going to go in the Hall as a Packer. We're going to, retire your number, whatever it might be. But it's time to move on. I would have said, man, thank you so much just for telling me that. Like, I really, really appreciate that. That means the world to me that you would tell me that. Because I really believe that's the sentiment, and that's fine. It really is. It's totally fine. This is an incredible profession, but it's a tough business for sure.
You've said that for a long time, Aaron. You've said that for a long time.
Some of these issues were things I was talking about 2 years ago. It was how do we treat older players on the way out? And it's ironic that now I'm that player, but I think that's the beauty in life is the the sense of humor that the universe has. But so I'm no malice, no bitterness towards the Packers. It's been bittersweet for sure the last 10 days. So I've shifted my focus to entertaining, what the plane would look like, and had the Packers granted obviously permission for the Jets to come out and visit. We had a nice visit. They decided to leave their cars in the street, which attracted paparazzi attention, which got a few of them photographed, which I thought was pretty funny. But
made a couple of mistakes early.
But we had a nice conversation, and I told them, listen, I'm not ready to make a decision about anything. I want to get back into my workouts and see how it feels. To really hit it hard for a week. I've obviously been working out before that, but to really hit it hard for a week and to see if that drive and the passion is still there, and then I'll see where we're at. And so again, this is why this is not a decision here. The decision I think was made in my mind, whether or not I was able to admit at that point. Really on that Tuesday, I wanted to play, and then it was how is my body feeling? Is it going to be able to hold up? So at this point, as I sit here, I think since Friday, I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Okay.
And I haven't been holding anything up at this point. It's been compensation that the Packers are trying to get for me and kind of digging their heels in. So I would just, I think it is interesting at this point to step back and look at the whole picture. My side, love and appreciation, gratitude for everything that Green Bay has done for me. So much love and gratitude, and just heart open for the Packer fans and what it's meant to be their quarterback. And also the reality of the situation, like it is what it is. The Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. They've let other people know that in direct words. And because I still have that fire and I want to play and I would like to play in New York, it's just a matter of, getting that done at this point.
Okay, people in New York are doing this right now. Yeah. People in New York are pumped right now, and I appreciate you laying it all out there. I appreciate you detailing your side of it, why you feel the way you feel. Now, obviously, there's like 400,000 plus people watching. Not everybody will get to hear that. I hope everybody gets a chance to hear why you are in the position that you're in, and also why you chose to come on here today, because there's a lot of drama allegedly being built by you, dragging this out. Is this guy doing this? Because the last we had heard, and although you made your decision on Friday, the last we had heard is you were contemplating still wanting to play, or do you want to play for the Jets, or do you want to play for another team? So you giving your side of it, I think, lets a lot of people that are maybe hating know, like, yo, let's understand that there's a whole nother layer to this, which is how all the insiders have been talking about it. That layer, are you involved in that process at all with what the compensation is? Are you completely hands off of that and you're just along for the ride with everybody else? Or how active have you been in the whole process here, Aaron?
Pretty hands off of that, honestly. I've just been focused on working out and, taking care of my business out here. I obviously have an agent and the GMs have been talking, I'm sure, about that. At this point, like I said, it's my intention to play for the Jets, but I'm still under contract with the Packers. So.
Yeah, they got no leverage either. I don't know how many people are watching. They're trying to compare this to the Matthew Stafford situation. Matthew Stafford, a part of the trade and what they gave up was because they were taking on Jared Goff's contract that was massive. Your contract would be leaving the team, so take that out of the leverage pool. And also, they've pretty much put them in a position contractually with Jordan Love because they have to decide whether or not they're going to pick up the fifth year. They made this decision by drafting Jordan Love that everybody else knows that they're going to another quarterback anyways, and they don't want it on the book. So it's a vastly different leverage situation. I think we all just assumed that would have got done. I think that's why we were all thinking that it was you.